Hello everyone, this is Jonathan Little, and back by popular demand, we're going to go through a few more hands from the Sit and Go Coach feature of ICMizer. So we're going to be doing the 1,500-man PokerStars multi-table tournament, which is the standard tournament payout. This time, instead of doing calling situations like we did last time we did six-handed any, and we did only from the hijack. We got in the top 1% of players, even though we certainly could have done way better. Let's do nine-handed situations and calling spots. So let's do any stack size. Nine-way call any stack quiz. All right, so let's start the quiz. So this is going to be asking us when we should call the all-ins. In the previous video, we discussed when we should be shoving all in. Now I have to say when we're going to call. So again, the amount of big blinds a player has is right here, 3.5. He goes all in for 3.5 big blinds, and what should I call with in this spot? Notice everyone is super short. And I'm going to guess it's going to say fold all these. Maybe a little bit nitty, but this is one of these scenarios where I think the goal here is just to outlast people with our 5.5 big blind stack. I mean, this is another scenario where, since this is the first time I've actually tried this quiz, I'm very new to this quiz, and I haven't done this for a very long time. I'm probably going to get a lot of questions wrong. Last time I thoroughly embarrassed myself. So let's say fold. And we got it right. Actually, really easy folds with all of them. If you remember back to the previous video, anything like more than 0.1 is a very obvious fold. And sure enough, all of these are fairly obvious folds. So that's good. Got one of them right. We can't go O for X at this point. Don't know why it's taking so long to load. Maybe because it's nine-handed. Last time it took no time to load at the six-handed examples. All right, 18 big blinds. Guy goes all in for 7. There are no super obvious short stacks besides these guys. So this guy should have a very strong range, shoving into all of these people. I'm actually going to say fold 7s and 5s and push ace, jack, suited, and pocket 9s. Although, you know what? Ace, jack, suited may even be a fold. This guy has to be kind of tight because he has to worry about these two 3.5 big blind stacks. So if he's kind of tight, what hands are doing good against that range? And it's not like I'm in a good seat. I have a lot of people yet to act behind me. Again, I really don't know what the answer to this one is. Obviously, maybe these two hands are close. They're trying to trick me or something. I don't know. I'm going to go with this. Although I think these could easily be folds as well. Just because there's so many people yet to act. So we got 3 out of 4. Turns out pocket 7s is barely a profitable push, and these two are fairly obvious pushes. So I'm okay with this. And again, like I mentioned in the previous video, some of the ones I was getting wrong whenever they initially quizzed me were very close situations, like 0.02. But this actually shows you which hands you should be calling with if you click on this button. This is your calling range in this spot. And it actually also shows what this guy should be shoving with. So kind of interesting that you can know his shoving range, know that you're actually crushing it, and you still have to be fairly tight. So I guess the loading is part of the 10-handed situations. Maybe we should just quit this and go back to like 5-handed situations or 6-handed situations. All right, here hijack goes all in for 7 big blinds. We have 4.5 big blinds. There are a few short stacks, but I think here the overriding factor is going to be our hand is just too good, and I actually think all of these hands are fine enough. I don't really see how we could ever fold these. These hands are great. Wow, pocket 8s is a fold. Again, a very, very close fold. It's kind of interesting. If you look at pocket 8s and pocket 9s, right, they don't look too different. But pocket 9s, according to the program, is actually a really good hand, 0.15, whereas pocket 3s is just barely bad. Notice that's a 0.18 shift in the hand strength. Let's see how that actually works. So it actually does shift significantly. It's like a full 0.13 or 0.14 every spot you move up. Kind of cool that pocket 8s is barely on the cusp here. Also interesting to note that even though this guy is shoving for not very many chips, and we don't have very many chips ourselves, we have to be tight, probably because these two guys have 2.5 big blinds and 3.5 big blinds. So you'll see a lot of players just call it off in the spot super wide with hands like ace 9 and pocket 6s and whatnot. So barely got one wrong. I'm okay with that. That being said, you want to be perfect at this. If you can become perfect at this, you will just never make errors. One thing worth mentioning is this program does assume your opponents are playing well, and that is certainly not going to be the case in real life. A lot of times people are shoving way too wide or way too tight, and you definitely need to adjust accordingly. All right, so 2.5 big blinds. There's one other short stack. Everyone else has a lot. This guy should be shoving a very strong range, actually, because me and this other guy are so short. So I'm actually going to fold the 7s and the 5s, even though I have no chips. Maybe I should shove 7s. I think 7s is going to be very close. I think ace-queen and ace-queen suited are both good enough, although, again, maybe they're just trying to trick me by saying ace-queen suited is a shove and ace-queen suited is a fold. Yeah, I don't know what the right answer is here. I'm gonna guess I'm gonna fold the 7s, as tight as that sounds. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And we got it right, so that's good. Again, just barely folds here, but well, barely folds with a 7, but pocket 5s is a super easy fold, and these are good enough, so that's good. Seems like I know my calling spots better than I know my shoving spots. I hope they give me a close one where like button shoves and I'm in the big blind. That's the kind where you actually do have to have very strong hands. All right, 6 big blinds, shove, 3 big blinds, 3 big blinds, 5 big blinds, 5 big blinds. Whenever you're actually playing a tournament in real life, you want to make sure that you know how many chips each person has, and just converting everything to big blinds in your head is the easiest way to do it. And I actually generally keep a running tally of how many chips everyone has. I'm not constantly thinking, oh, let me count your chips. You know, I just generally know what it is. That way you can make these decisions on the fly and know what you should be doing ahead of time. All right, so 3 big blinds anyway. Short stack under the gun. He'll be taking the blinds next. I think ace 10 is going to be a fold, but I think these hands are all just good enough to where we have to get it in. One thing to take away from this is that you do need to be very snug in this scenario. And we got all these right, so that's good. All right, here we go. Under the gun jam. 11 big blinds. I only have 1.5 big blinds in the big blind. I guess I should call with everything, right? I don't really see how I could possibly fold these. Given there's no other tiny stack, I mean, if there was a guy who had like 1 big blind, I could see folding, maybe not any of these hands, but I could see folding some trashy hands. I think you should actually call off here pretty wide. Although maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I feel like you should be calling super wide here. And yeah, sure enough, so super wide. You know, I actually resized this to where this would appear in the window, but apparently I don't know how to do that. Yeah, you need to be getting it in here super wide. As you can see, most suited hands, any reasonable like 8-6 offsuit. So you just have to get it in that spot whenever guy goes. Even though he should have a very tight range, you still just have to get it in because you are so short. All right, shove for 4 big blinds. We have 19, so a very big stack. Obviously, calling is an option in real life, but this program does not allow you to call. You're either shoving or folding. Like right here, I could see calling with some hands and folding to a 15 big blind jam, for example. But we don't have that option. So 4 big blind all in. He is the short stack, so he should be fairly loose enough. I'm going to say we should push all of these. It sucks that they're really big stacks in the blinds. I think that should maybe make it tighten up, but they should be fairly tight calling. So I could see 6s, ace 10 suited being folds. I could also see 7 being a fold, 7s being a fold too, but I think these are probably good enough. Barely good enough, but I think they're going to be good enough. All right, so they are all good enough and sure enough, barely good enough. I guess 7s and ace 10 suited are comparable. You'll find that as you go through and play these quizzes, that a lot of the hands are just very comparable to each other. Like ace 10 suited and pocket 7s are very close. And you can actually go through and look at these hands and see like roughly which hands are similar. So like king jack offsuit and queen jack suited are pretty close. Queen jack offsuit and king 10 suited are pretty close. So it seems like whenever you go up, being suited adds like one little notch to your hand for the most part, but sometimes it's actually fairly significant. And I don't quite understand why that is all the time, but hopefully we'll learn it as we go through. All right, shove, 5.5 big blinds. There are a bunch of short stacks, so he should be really strong, actually. So if he's really strong, what should I be getting it in with? Well, I'm going to say this is going to be a fold. We do have a lot of chips. Maybe so like right here, I don't know what the overriding factor is. Whenever you're playing these quizzes, I guess I should mention this. You can get this program at jonathanlittlepoker.com/ICM. Whenever you are playing these quizzes, you always want to ask yourself, what is the main factor in the scenario? Is it my hand? Is it the stacks? Is it my opponent's stack? Is it my stack? Is it the other guy's stacks? And right here, I think this guy should be so tight that I think I actually want to fold all of these. Sounds crazy, I know, but I think right here, the overriding factor is not our chips. I think it's going to be this guy's super tight range. But I was wrong. Actually, he should shove 23%, the program says. I never would have guessed that. Like, I never would have guessed he should shove Jack 9 suited in the spot. I would think that would be pretty bad, but apparently it's not. So clearly here, overriding factor is, I guess there's really not an overriding factor. You just want to have good hands, and these hands are just good enough. So we got 2 of them right, but I guess ace-10 suited, ace-10 in general is just good enough. That was a tough one. I thought it was a tough one at least. All right, under the gun jam, 2.5 big blinds. There's a short stack here, a short stack here, and we have a short stack. So we need a very good hand to get it in. We have to know big blind's going to call here every time. I think these 3 are just super strong hands. And I guess pocket 8s is probably good enough too. I think we're just so short here to where when we get a really premium hand, we just have to get it in. All right, so they are all pretty easy all-ins. All right. All in for 6 big blinds under the gun, 2 big blinds in the big blind. No one else super short. We have a lot of chips, so we can probably get it in here fairly often. So should we get it in with 6s? I think 6s is probably close. The thing is that I'm not exactly sure how wide this guy should be shoving. They actually do account for this, and I have it set up to account for this, where this guy should be shoving, recognizing he's going to take the blinds next hand, because that really does hurt him. So you should be shoving a little bit wider than ICM, like standard ICM dictates. And this is all explained on this program site, that they have a few different ways to calculate ICM. And one of them is taking future hands into account. I do think that is what you should be doing. So should we get it in with 6s? I think we probably should. This guy's range should be pretty wide. And if we lose, it's not really a big deal. Obviously, shoving into these big stacks is not great. Wow, it says we should fold these. I would not have guessed this as well. Close to pocket 7. So really, this guy should be super tight, it's claiming. And I guess it's saying he should be super tight because this guy he has to recognize he's getting called every time by the 2 big blind stack. So if he's super tight knowing that, I guess we should be tight as well. I mean, look how tight this is saying we should call this 6 big blind shove, right? Super nitty. Yeah, I would have gotten this one wrong for sure. I would have happily gotten it in with these hands. So, pretty big mistake. All right, 4 big blind all in. No one is incredibly short. I mean, 3.5 big blinds is pretty short, but not incredibly short. So, given the previous example where the 7 big blind guy from second or under the gun should be short, I think this guy should probably also be tight, but maybe not so tight because these guys are not so short. I think king queen suited is usually just always premium. I'm gonna go fold here, and fold ace-9 suited, but I bet ace-9 suited is very close. Like I don't really know the difference in the shoving ranges for this guy under the gun or under the gun plus 1 7 big blind versus 4 big blinds. And I imagine if I played around with this program enough, I would eventually figure it out. But like I don't know if 7 big blind shoving under the gun range should be that different than 4 big blind shoving second position range. And it could be drastically different, but I think ace-9 suited is close. Ace-9 offsuit is probably going to be an obvious fold. 4s is probably close as well. We got them all wrong. Unbelievable. So apparently it's going to say he's shoving fairly wide. Yeah, fairly wide. So it's all these hands are slightly profitable shoves. I said fold, 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 fold on all of them. Wait, what did I say? Did I say fold on all of them? Did I just click the wrong buttons? Oh, it's saying we should... I thought I told it to push king, queen suited and ace-9 suited. I guess I clicked the wrong button. My bad. Fishing it up over here. Don't be misclicking on your quiz programs. It will give you the wrong answers. All right. Shove 5 big blinds. We have a lot of chips. This guy has no chips. This guy has no chips. This guy has no chips. So this guy should be very tight. These are going to be folds for sure. And I think actually all these are going to be folds because this guy should be so tight because these 2 players or these 3 players are all very shallow. Also, this guy's shallow too. So I'm going to go with this. I think this is probably right. Well, it says we should get it in with king, queen, and 4s. They're just good enough. Again, so it really is difficult to know what to do in these spots because it's hard to know what the overriding factor is a lot of the time. I don't really understand this either. So look, this is 25. It says we should be shoving 25%, and he should be shoving 25%. And I guess the reason this is the case, I mean, this doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't really understand this because this guy should be... If say he is shoving 25%, don't I want to have some equity advantage to call off? Maybe I just don't need it because I'm not worried about going broke because I have so many chips. And if I bust this guy, I can probably just crush the table. Maybe it's taking that into account. This is a tough one. I don't really understand this one. I mean, I get it that these hands are good. I just don't get this 25% and 25% range. That's very counterintuitive to me. Hopefully someone who makes this program can watch this video and let me know what I'm doing wrong. All right, this will be the last one, and then we'll pack it up. All right, 30 big blinds. Everyone has a big stack, so we have to be pretty tight here. This is definitely going to be a fold. I'm actually going to say we need to fold all of these besides ace queen. I mean, this is another one of these spots where I could just see the program saying, yeah, obviously get it in with all of these. This guy is shoving under the gun. He should have fold equity, though, right? So this is a little bit of a different situation because there's no incredibly short stack that's obviously going to call him. Or there's no guy he obviously needs to outlast. I mean, this guy has 3.5 big blinds, but that's the only one. Interesting scenario. I don't really know what the right play is here. Again, well, to be fair, they're giving me a lot of really close spots, which is good. I could see 8s being a shove, but I know that 6 is just like barely profitable shove under the gun for 10 big blinds anyway. So I don't really see how you could call it off. I'm going to go with these, but 8s could easily be a shove. Same with king, queen suited. What did I do wrong here? I don't understand. Am I like misclicking left and right? Okay, so I said fold this. I said fold this. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. All right, well, I think I said to push ace queen only. I don't know what happened here. Let me do one more just to make sure I'm clicking on these buttons right. Okay. 13 big blind all in. We have 7 big blinds. So these hands are all great. Push, 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 push. Clearly I have pushes clicked. There is a tiny stack. Wow, maybe we should be folding some of these. I could actually see folding 10s here being okay. This guy should be somewhat wide. Maybe not super wide, though. Maybe he should be tight. You know, this is one of these rare spots where I think I could conceivably fold hands like ace king. I'm actually going to say fold 10s. Yeah, I'm going to say fold 10s. All right, so we have push, push, fold, push. Let's just confirm this. Push, push. So these are actually folds. Wow, fold, push. So the reason these are folds, I recognize the reason. It's because this guy has 2 big blinds. I'm glad they're giving me these tough ones so that we can all learn from this. When these guys are both so short, I'm guaranteed to move up 2 payout spots for the most part. Also, we have 2 other short guys, so I really can't call this guy's shove with very many hands. Even if I know he's shoving this wide, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? This guy can get away with shoving a super wide range. There's nothing I can do about it. All right, let's do one more just to make sure I'm clicking on the right buttons. This program's addictive. All right, 2 big blind shove. We have no chips. We're in bad shape. This guy is also in bad shape. He should probably shove pretty wide, given he is under the gun. I guess the program's going to say to be somewhat tight here, because this guy has to worry about everyone else at the table waking up with a premium hand. Ace Jack could just be a fold too. Wow. With 2 big blinds, is that real? Like, how could you possibly fold with 2 big blinds with these hands? Well, I understand Ace 3 suit is probably going to be a fold. Ace 10 offsuit is probably going to be a fold. Queen Jack suit is probably close. Like right here, I would guess that these 2 hands are very comparable. I'm going to go Ace Jack offsuit. So fold, fold, push, fold. That's what I have typed in. I really don't know what the right play is here either. I bet they're all pretty close. So, wow, interesting. Queen Jack suit is just way worse than Ace 10 offsuit. All right, so at least I figured out how to push the buttons right. All right, so then we've clicked quit quiz, and then I think it's going to tell me how I did in that scenario. Hopefully it says I did better than I was earlier. Actually, I don't think I ever took this one earlier, so we'll get our grade and see how we did. All right, so rating's a 7. I don't know what a rating of a 7 means, but it says we're in the top 6%. So I hope top 6% is good. Hopefully that doesn't mean I'm horrible. I'll have to go and actually figure this out because maybe this is just telling me I'm the worst ever. So far, we've only taken a few of these quizzes, and, well, this is one of the main ones. So top 6%, whatever, I'll take it. I definitely need to work on those spots, though, because there are a lot of situations where I certainly could have done better. But again, I'm probably going to go to their website and research this so that I can be more educational in my videos next time. But if you guys want to check out this program, you can get it at jonathanlittlepoker.com/ICM. It is called ICMizer. I think it's great. It also has a very good ICM calculator, which will let you run any spot that you find yourself in. So this is a sit and go coach feature. It is very difficult, as you can see, but I'll keep doing my best. This has been Jonathan Little for jonathanlittlepoker.com. Again, you can get this program at jonathanlittlepoker.icm. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you next time.